dedicated to dads. Father's Day is on June 21st, and since it's after our last day of school, I don't want us to forget to recognize our dads for their hard work. So, in this episode, we're going to learn about animal dads that are amazing fathers. We're going to list some attributes or some descriptive words that would describe our dads, learn about making a craft, and even come up with some fun ideas to do with Dad on Father's Day. So let's get started. Okay, so to start us off, I want to show you a picture of my dad and tell you a little bit about him. So this is a picture of my dad, Mr. Black. And this is me as a little girl, and that's my brother, Scott. Mr. Black is such a great dad. Check out that awesome mustache. This is us spending quality time together at the poppy reserves down in Southern California, where we're from. So Mr. Black is an amazing dad. He's so caring, he's so smart, and he's so funny. This picture I'm going to put up here so you can see it's me with my dad and my brother Scott. As time went on, our family grew. So this is Mr. Black now. And you can see our whole family there. There's my stepmom, Jana, and there's Mr. Phillips and me, and our sons, Ashton and Camden. And you can see my other brother, Devin, on this side. So remember, we talked about our blended families and how our families grow and can change. And so my dad married Jana, and Jana had Devin. So now there's 3 of us. I have 2 brothers and me, the only girl. So my dad is such a great dad. He's so helpful. He's so smart. He's so caring. And I know I already said those things, but now we're going to learn about animal dads that are also some of those things. So let's get started. The first are the emperor penguin dads. After an emperor penguin mother lays the egg, she must venture out to sea for food. While she is gone, the father emperor penguin must stay with the egg to keep it warm. The male emperor penguin keeps the egg warm in the freezing Antarctic weather for 2 whole months. He uses his feet and his brooding pouch to keep the egg protected and warm. The father will not leave the egg in those 2 months, not even for food. Emperor penguin fathers are some of the most dedicated and caring dads in the animal kingdom. So you can see underneath here is where that skin, that brooding pouch is for the father penguins to keep their young in there, like covering them up with a blanket. They're such dedicated and caring dads. We'll put them up here. Next, we have the seahorse dads. We learned all about seahorses. So if you remember, the male seahorse is a fantastic dad, perhaps one of the best fathers in the animal kingdom. The seahorse dad is responsible for carrying around anywhere between 5 to 1,500 babies in its pouch. Once the babies are ready, the daddy seahorse pumps the babies out into the water. What a protective dad. He sure is a great caretaker. Remember, it's the only animal that we know of in the world where the dad is the one who gives birth to the babies. Oh, look at this cute picture. Wolf dads. Wolf dads are great. After the mother wolf gives birth to her pups, the babies will stay very close to mom in their den. The father wolf protects the den from fierce predators. He also hunts for food for his pups, providing the babies with large chunks of meat. As the pups age, the father wolf will be a playful and sometimes strict mentor to his babies. This is how the babies learn to behave in their pack. Isn't the wolf dad a great provider for his family? Aw, so the wolf dad can be playful. That's how the pups learn to play with each other. They learn so much from their dad. Ooh, this one makes me a little bit cringy. But remember to say, how scientific, instead of going, ew, gross. Frog and toad dads may be some of the best dads, and you would probably never expect it. Many frog dads carry their eggs in their mouths to protect them from harm. Some even keep the eggs embedded under their skin as they grow. Many frog and toad fathers will go without feeding for quite some time just to make sure that their eggs and tadpoles stay protected. Frog and toad dads sacrifice so much for their babies. What committed dads! Now you can see right here, all these bumpy things, those are the eggs. And they're on the back of the frog dad attached to him so that he can keep them as close as possible until they're ready to morph into their next stage of the life cycle. And you'll learn all about that in first grade. So frog and toad dads are also amazing dads. The last one are the flamingo dads. Flamingo dads care for their chicks just as much as the chick's mother. The mother and father flamingo take turns caring for the eggs until they hatch. Once the chick begins to hatch, both parents make noises, welcoming their chick into the new world. Once the chick is old enough to explore on its own, both the mother and father flamingo keep close watch of their chick. What an excited and helpful dad. Aww. I learned something new. I didn't know flamingo dads were such amazing dads. So now that we learned about these different animal dads, and I talked to you a little bit about my dad, I want you to take a minute and think about what makes your dad so special. Then we're going to write those words that describe your dad. Remember, they're called adjectives, describing words, over here. We're going to make a list, okay? So think for 1 minute. Okay, I thought long and hard about what makes my dad so special. And I also remembered some of the words I heard when I learned about these different animal dads. And I'm going to put those words over here to make a nice list. So the first word that comes to mind is the word dedicated. So I'm going to write it at the top here. It's kind of a long one. Dedicated. And what that means is that kind of like our frog and toad dad, or even the wolf dad, they're dedicated to taking care of their babies so that they get to grow up and live a great life. So they are going to do everything it takes to take good care of those babies. All right, the next word I think of is caring. Caring. Now think about how caring the flamingo dad is. Remember, he cares just as much as the mother flamingo. He's very caring. Ooh, another one that I thought of is protective. Protective. Now remember, the father wolf stays outside of the den, which is the home where the pups are and the mom is, the mother wolf is, and he keeps watch and guard to protect all of his babies, his whole family. So he's very protective of his family. How about playful? Playful. We also learned about the wolf dad being playful with his pups. Think about your dad. Is your dad playful? Does he like to play with you? How about the word committed? That's kind of like dedicated. It almost means exactly the same thing. It's another long word, committed. That means that every day your dad wakes up and knows that he's going to do a great job at being a great dad. He's committed to being a great dad, so he cares a lot. He wants to do a great job. Ooh, I like the word excited. Thinking about that flamingo again, being so excited to see his chick come out of the egg and is so excited to watch it grow up. How about helpful? Helpful. Do you think that the father emperor penguin is helpful? Think about all the things he has to do to keep that chick warm and wait for its mom to return with food, and how it has to keep the egg from rolling off in the cold weather. That is a helpful animal dad. All right, and then I was thinking of, I was thinking of my own dad when I came up with this one. Loving. My dad is so loving, and he's very, very smart. And one of my very favorite characteristics about my dad is he's so funny. He makes really funny jokes. So there's some of the words. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna write down our list of our words that describe our dad on a piece of paper. And I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do with it. So let's move on to the craft. Okay, now what you can do with your list of words is you can turn it into something like we did for moms on Mother's Day. You can turn it into almost like a little poster or a special little memory token, kind of like a card that you can give your dad, and you can draw a little picture on the side. The first thing I did though too was I wrote at the top, my dad is, and then I wrote those descriptive words that we just went over, okay? And then just for fun, I glued this paper on a piece of construction paper to give it a little color, but you don't have to do that. You could just make it on a piece of paper. Draw a picture of you and your dad, make it nice. Okay, so that's one special gift that you can give your dad for Father's Day. The next one is this. And this is super cute. It's your handprint, but I turned it into a fish, and it says, Dad, I am hooked on you, because it looks like a fish swimming towards a little hook for fishing. So Dad, I'm hooked on you. That means like, Dad, I love you. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to make this, and I'm gonna tell you real quick the supplies you need. So you're gonna need 2 pieces of white paper, construction paper if you have it or if you want to use it, crayons and markers if you have them. Otherwise, just use crayons. Scissors, glue stick, and a pencil. Okay, now I'm gonna show you step by step how to make this for your dad. Okay, the first step is getting your white paper in front of you and tracing your hand. Take my ring off. So remember, it sometimes works better if you're standing up and putting pressure down, pushing down on your hand to keep your hand from moving. But I've done this many times, so I'm gonna try to keep it nice and straight with my lines. So try to trace your hand, and if you're having trouble, maybe your mom could help you or your sister or brother. But remember, tracing is a skill, so just practice. Practice. Oh, I'm pretty happy with that one, so I'm just gonna curve that line. And now I'm gonna trace my fish with a marker, and I'm just gonna choose a color I think my dad likes. So I'm gonna use blue, and I'm gonna trace that line I just drew. Okay, coming from an angle that makes it hard to see. Let me change direction, okay? So try your best to trace it. Notice how slow I'm going so that I try not to make any big mistakes, okay? And this is so special because it has your handprint, and your handprint is gonna change as you grow. So that's what makes your cute little hand so special right now. Next, I'm gonna color my fish, and I'm gonna use a little piece of orange crayon because I want to use it like an art crayon where I pinch it on its side and I just shade it in. Okay, if you want to take the time and color it differently, that's okay too. Remember, this is for your dad. Okay, now I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so cut your hand out, your handprint. All right, so I cut out my handprint, and now I'm ready for the next step, which is to add some features to my fish, okay? Let me use my clipboard for this so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna take my marker, and I'm gonna use my black marker. If you don't have it, use a crayon, but use a darker colored crayon for the eye. And I'm gonna look right about here, under my thumb down here, where I think a good eye would be for a fish. And I'm gonna draw a big oval like that. And I'm gonna draw or color in black the pupil of the eye. And then I'm even gonna draw a little mouth, some fishy lips, okay? And then a line in the middle. Oop, I'm having trouble with my marker here. Okay. Then I'm gonna make one line. I'm adding details to my fish now. I'm trying to make it look like a cool angel fish or something. Add some stripes. If you want to add spots or different scaly colors or however you want to do it, if you want to make a rainbow fish, it's up to you. Remember, this is your fun art project that should be special for you to give to your dad for Father's Day. So there's my stripes, and let me add a fin. Okay, and now my fish is ready. I like him. I think he's good to go. So I'm gonna set him aside, and now I'm gonna quickly design the background for our fish to be swimming in. Okay, so I grab my blue marker because I'm gonna make a water line. And when I come onto my paper, I'm gonna come about halfway up my paper in the middle. And I'm gonna make some wavy lines to make it look like the ocean, okay? Then I'm gonna take a blue crayon. This one's kind of like a light blue, and I'm gonna use it again like we do our art crayons in class, where we just kind of brush it on the side, use the side of the crayon. Just helps us cover more space quicker, and it gives a really cool texture to the water, so it makes it look a little bit more real and wavy. Okay. You have to pinch and use your finger muscles to hold on to that crayon, okay? Okay, I'm pretty happy with my water now. So the next step is gluing on my fish. And I want to put my fish right here towards the left of the paper because I'm going to put some writing here. So I want to glue him on the left, or it, and glue it on the left. Let me put my glue on each finger. Whoops. Okay. Carefully set it down. Push. Okay. And then if you want to add some details in the sky, you can add some clouds. Big clouds, small clouds off in the distance. Maybe you want to add a little bird flying. Maybe another bird flying. And add the sun in the sky, because I'm hoping for a nice, sunny, warm Father's Day. Color in that sun. Careful not to get it on my book. And then the last thing is writing the message to your dad. Oh wait, I forgot one key detail, the hook. Draw your wavy line down and then make a curve. It almost looks like a big J at the bottom. And you kind of want to make it look almost pointy. And then there's a little eye hole for the hook. And then I'm going to write Dad, comma, because we pause, I, sight word, am hooked. I don't have room, so I'm going to do it down here. Hooked on, just made it, you, with an exclamation point. And then I'm going to write love, Jamie. Remember, that's my first name. That's what my dad calls me. And I'm even in the corner going to write 2020, the year. So that way my dad can keep it forever. And then when he looks back years from now, he can say, remember that adorable art you made me for Father's Day? Okay. And then if you have your construction paper, you can just glue the whole thing on top of the construction paper, okay? Do it real quick. Remember, you want to go around the edges of your paper when you're gluing. And then I like to make one X, whoa, lost the glue there, in the middle like this. Okay? That way it gets sticky on the edges where you need it to stay stuck. And then try to put it in the middle if you can to make a nice frame around the edges. Okay, there you go. So now on June 21st, Father's Day, you'll have two really sweet, kind, sentimental, heartfelt gifts for your dad. But there's still more we can do for Dad on Father's Day. So let's see what we can come up with that might show Dad we think he's extra special.
One thing you can do for your dad on Father's Day is give him a compliment. You're a really great artist, Dad.
Aw, thanks, Ash.
You're really funny.
Ah, thanks, Cam.
Another great thing you can do with your dad on Father's Day is do an activity with him.
Another thing you can do on Father's Day is tell your dad a joke. Hey, Dad. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow who?
Another thing that you can do on Father's Day for your dad is make him lunch. Here you go, sir.
Didn't I make this?
Playing a game with your dad is another great activity you can do on Father's Day.
Go fish.
Remember to give your dad lots of hugs on Father's Day.
Hugs.
Well, I hope that you learned in this episode some really awesome ways you can appreciate your dad on Father's Day. So don't forget on June 21st to celebrate your dad. And one last message to all you awesome dads out there. Thanks for setting such a great example for your kids and for being such a great caretaker. Everyone appreciates a fabulous dad. Have a great Father's Day.